Have you been in survival mode? Have you been tired? Do you feel worn out? Do you feel like you're giving to everybody else but not yourself? First thing is you have to fix yourself before any of your problems are going to resolve themselves. You have to fix some things that you're doing and how you're contributing to this world. So the very first thing that you have to do in this process is just make a decision. You have to decide. You have to decide that you want to make a change in your life. Think about it. 10 years from now, if you don't make any changes right now, 10 years from now, will your life be better? Will it be worse? That's going to tell you if you need to make a change. So commit to it. Commit to 90 days. Or if you can't do 90 days, do 30. But make that decision. You choose your own destiny. You have to be committed to this. We have to be honest with ourselves. You can't be honest with yourself if you want to lie to yourself. You can't change. You know how I know that you want change? Because this video found you. You didn't find this video. It found you. The next thing that we have to do is stop the negative self-talk. You have to stop telling yourself that you're not worthy. Whoever back in the day, might have been 20 years ago, might have been 30 years ago, might have been when you were a child. But somebody along the way told you something that was untrue about yourself. And that lie that they told you has been living in your head whenever you are having a bad day, whenever you're doubting yourself. You hear them in your head saying the negative stuff about you, and you believe it. Stop believing it. It's a lie. That person probably said those things to you because they feel it about themselves, not about you. Not about you. It's about them and their own insecurities. What happened was, whenever they were telling you those things and it affected you, you felt an emotion with that. That's why it stuck with you. That's why you remember their negative words. However, if you take a step back from that and look at it logically, without the emotion, if somebody else hears the story or hears those words that are going on in your head, they're not going to believe it. So you still hear their voice. You still hear those words in your head as if they're standing in the same room with you right now. And you probably haven't seen that person in a while. You might not have seen that person in 30 years, but it's as if they're still right there with you saying those words. The next thing on the list is super important. It's the most important thing. It's finding purpose and clarity. How do you do that? Well, the first step is to reverse engineer your life. Think of yourself as an 80-year-old woman. Think of the 80-year-old version of yourself. Sit down and write a letter to yourself as if you're 80 years old, writing to yourself now. In that letter, talk about the things that you accomplished and how proud of yourself you are for accomplishing those things and overcoming your fear. This time in your life is going to pass regardless of if you're making changes or not. So, what do you want your legacy to be? Think about that. When the day comes, whenever you are no longer on this planet, what do you want people to get up at your funeral and say about you? What do you want your legacy to be? What do you want to accomplish? Are they going to be able to say those things? Are those things going to be true about you? They're not if you don't start now. What legacy are you going to pass down to your kids? Are your kids going to be able to say, wow, my mom was scared, but she did it anyway, and I want to be like my mom? Another thing that you can do for the next 90 days or 30 days, whichever you decided on, is make a vision board. It's really an action board. What is it that you envision for your future life that you want it to look like? Find pictures that represent what you want your life to be like. Save them as your home screen on your phone so that you can look at it and see it all the time and be reminded of your goals. Another way that you can find your purpose and clarity, if you're not sure about what that is to help someone else. Now, whether you're an extrovert or an introvert, I've got different ways that you can achieve that for either personality, okay? You can achieve that by volunteering, finding a place to volunteer for that really fits your passions, what you're interested in, what you love, value. If you're an introvert, volunteer at an animal shelter, helping the animals. You can volunteer at an equine therapy location. You can help your elderly neighbor one-on-one. If you're an introvert, you do well with one-on-one. You don't do well in large crowds, but you get your energy from your solitude, from being alone. Whenever you're around a bunch of people, it just sucks your energy out. So you really need to find something that helps preserve your energy and builds it up. If you're an extrovert, then a volunteer opportunity that you really haven't thought about is serving on the board of directors for a nonprofit. There are lots of food pantries, lots of local 501c3s to choose from. And trust me, they need board members, especially the small ones. If you can't think of one, you can always call 211 and ask them for the food pantries. And then that leads us to journaling. For the next 90 days or 30, journal. Write down what it is you're doing. Write down what happened that day. Write it down, because 6 months from now, you'll be able to look back and see your growth. You don't really recognize how much you've grown unless you have it documented somewhere, some way, somehow that you can reflect back on. So journaling helps you process your emotions. It helps you figure out the scenario of what happened that day. It helps you figure out problems. It helps you see patterns and trends in other people's behavior and yours. So journaling, write it down every day for the next 90 days or 30. So for today, what's one little change that you can make? And then tomorrow, look around your life and figure out what is the next little thing that you can do. Keep that going. Put in the effort for yourself. The next thing is consistency. That's the key that's going to get you from point A to point B, because you have to have forward motion. You have to show up. You have to do the things if you're going to want to change in life at all. You have to be consistent with what you're doing for the 90 days that you committed to it, or the 30 days. That will help make it second nature. The consistency helps you train your brain. You train your brain to do things a little differently, and it just keeps going. And last but not least, give yourself some grace. This is a whole journey, and even though we want a forward motion, sometimes we're going to take a step backwards, and that's okay. That's human. That means you're human. Don't should on yourself. If you say that 5 times, don't should on yourself, really fast, what does it sound like? Don't should on yourself. I should have done this. I should have done it that way. Shoulding on yourself is part of that negative self-talk, the bad things that you tell yourself. You've got this. You can do it. You have to believe in yourself. This whole list of things that I've just gone over, that's what's going to help propel yourself forward. That's what's going to help you look back 10 years from now and go, wow, I'm so glad I made those little changes or big changes. So get started and keep moving forward and give yourself grace. So in the future, I'm going to break these things down a little bit more and go into detail, doing a deep dive for these concepts in future videos. So stick with me. So in